3 of y'all were talking about this, so my intuition knew that that was going to happen. And so today's conversation is all about Monday. I've been doing this class for 3 years, every Monday, and it is my favorite hour of the week. Why is it my favorite hour? Because I don't know where it's gonna go. I have no agenda. It's just, what do you want to talk about? And it's awesome because I'll sit there and stare at everyone in the class like, if you don't have anything to talk about, then we're just gonna sit here and stare at each other. And then the classes start, then the ideas start to flow. But before I get into that, I wanna share this slide with you. I taught at the Miami board yesterday, and I shared a class on tactics to take advantage of a market shift. And I wanna share this with you guys because it should make everyone in this room a little uncomfortable. And uncomfortable is good, but here's why. The amount of income has been going up since 2009. Every year, more and more properties are selling. That's why many of you are in this room, because you heard that real estate is an easy place to make money, and it had been. However, when the amount of closings, the available units start to shrink, which hasn't happened yet. The amount of closings have been consistent for several years, month after month after month. But the amount of agents coming in has continued to go up and up and up. What the law of equilibrium says is as the amount of units start to shrink, which should start happening soon, the amount of agents coming into the business will continue to go up because they don't get the memo yet, just like many of you come to market statistics, and I'll be sharing the statistics next week when they're available. We're gonna share what happened last month. But the interesting part here is as the income starts to deplete, the amount of available income, because units shrink, the amount of agents continue to pour into the industry. And that period of time is called survival. The quality of the real estate agent during this time begins to shrink because everyone's in survival mode. They're just trying to make money, or they're simply sitting in classes and not doing the activities necessary. I share this with you guys because yes, we provide the greatest education in the country as a company and the greatest office in South Florida, hands down. And that's kudos to you guys. However, action is extremely important. Come to Ask Lee Anything while you're taking action to ask me in real time what you're learning, what you're seeing, what you're experiencing, so that you could re-engage that next week with new information. Does that make sense? So what I wanted to share with you is a couple things we talked about in Monday's session. The first was how to convert sign calls or internet leads. Would that help any of you guys make money in this business? So why aren't you attending? Because you didn't know, and that's okay. Now you know. We talked a little bit about, hey, so if somebody inquires on a listing, or if you get an internet lead, what do you say? Well, the first is, that's a really good property. Let me look up that information. That's really the first thing that you say, even if you have the information in front of you. And what you're doing now is you're showing them that you're gonna help them, but you're pulling information so that you can get what you need from that conversation. This is a sales business, guys. This is not a service business. Many of you got into this business because of HGTV or you saw some fun things. This is a sales business. And we must learn how to sell by understanding the systems and best practices of salespeople. And that is using dialogues. And we talked about that. We talked about how to probe for financial information, like, hey, if you found the perfect property, where would you want to keep your payments? And by payments, I mean principal, interest, taxes, insurance, mortgage insurance, flood insurance, and HOA. Because many people say, well, I'm qualified for a $500,000 house, which doesn't mean anything, because I've shown $500,000 houses to people qualified for $500,000. I've written the offer at $500,000, and 2 days later, they got their payment information. They said, whoa, I can't afford this, but you're qualified for $500,000. That's why none of that matters, and that was part of our conversation on Monday. Payments matter, and that's what we focus on as professional real estate agents. We handled some objections that we've heard out there, and most importantly, the script that changed the course of my career, LP Mama. Location, price, motivation, agent. Very important. Are you working with an agent? What is your experience with that agent? Are you married to that agent? Are you familiar with the techniques that I use to help buyers find properties in this market, navigating this crazy market? Mortgage or cash, set the appointment. The other topic that we talked about, price, condition, location. See, buyers get to choose 2 out of 3. You want to live in a certain location at a certain price? You can't choose bedrooms, baths, square footage. You can't choose if it's going to be a condo, townhouse, or single family. I only want a house that's 3 bedrooms, 2 baths in Aventura. Can't choose the price. Well, I only want to live in Aventura and I want a single family house. Can't choose the price. You guys get that? It's a triangle. You get to choose 2 out of 3. We talked about the definition of real estate. Land and all improvements done too. And I shared the story of, who was here on Monday? Shared the story of the visualization. And this will be the last point I make on this. And this is the visualization that I give and gave to all of the clients that I worked with. I want you to imagine a beautiful 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. You walk in, 24-inch tile, granite countertops. I mean, you walk in and you go, wow. 1/4-acre lot, white picket fence. You guys with me? Downtown Wichita, Kansas. That house probably sells for about $350,000. Now I want you to imagine, again, definition of real estate, land and all improvements done too. So I want you to imagine you could pick up that house magically and you move it to South Point, South Beach, where the continuum sits and you watch the cruise ships go in and out. That same house on a 1/4-acre land, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 24-inch tile, granite countertops, you walk in and go, wow, probably closer to 350 million. 1/4-acre on there where the continuum sits. I mean, the penthouse there sells for 13 million itself, and there's 2 on that floor. When we help buyers understand the definition of real estate, when we help buyers understand that when you see a 3,200 square foot house in Pembroke Pines for 1.1 million, and then you go 3 miles south into Liberty City or Carroll City or Miami Gardens and you see a 3,200 square foot house for 250,000, the reason is the land just costs more in Pembroke Pines than 3 miles south. You can't tell people this. You have to show them and explain it to them. And this is what we did on Monday. Here are my notes that ChatGPT gave me from our conversation. And so those are there for anyone that would like to have those because it blew me away what ChatGPT was able to do. And I'll end on this. We also talked about what ready, willing, and able means. And many of you who sold real estate in 2021 realized that people were ready and they were willing, but they weren't able to compete. They didn't have the cash to go above appraisal, but they were ready and willing. They want to see property. They would write the offers, but they were not able. And so when a market shifts and buyer urgency is so important, your ability to navigate ready, willing, and able is so important because we don't get paid to work in real estate. We only get paid when we close real estate. And that's the biggest misunderstanding of folks who were employees before they were entrepreneurs, is that time is money. And your ability to navigate, your ability to find the motivated, which is what Evan was talking about. He generated that opportunity, earning the business of the motivated, and helping them navigate the market by understanding, are they ready, willing, and able. These are all the things why you heard that energy about Monday, guys. Everyone woke up Monday not knowing what we were going to talk about, but these are the things we talked about. So I wanted to pivot on the end of my time, which I got a little bit more. Follow me on YouTube. I'm posting multiple videos a week. I hired a social media company. I'm pumping content out. So find me on YouTube, Coach Lee Rosa, and of course my Instagram, Real Estate Business Coach. This is your opportunity to also share it with other agents in the industry. Why? Because I will build your wealth through profit share. Let my videos do the heavy lifting and be like, you get this guy every day. All right, so let that be part of your marketing strategy to generating, your passive income.